if you look around me at this beautiful garden, you don't really see a whole lot. I mean, I see a couple trees, maybe 3 small shrubs. The rest is all bark. Well, this is really not something I personally like to look at all winter long. Now, some of you may like it because it's nice and neat and crisp, but let me give you a few alternatives about when to clean up the garden. I sort of like to have the garden look more natural and to have stuff in it. It also protects the birds. So let's go look at some of the areas in the garden that we've left untouched, and the best time to clean them are going to be in February or March. Well, when you're trimming plants, sometimes we get a little over-aggressive. So I'll mention a couple things, at least one, something that you really don't want to prune, or if you do prune, you do it in a very minimal manner. And that is tree peonies. Of course, regular peonies, they will cut back in the fall, maybe, September or October. But when talking about tree peonies, they form or produce little shrubs. Now, here, be happy if you get one that's 6 feet tall. I know in England and in Holland, they'll be 12, 15 feet tall. But this is a tree peony. So you can cut off the old pods. Again, I like to wait till February or March, but you would come in and remove some of the old pods. It is important, though, to really be careful for the buds, because the flower buds are right underneath those old pods. At the same time, you can remove some of the foliage. That's one that you really don't want to prune hard. I've had people in the past mistakenly prune these, and either they don't come back or they wait for 3 to 4 years for them to bloom again. There are some things that you can prune, like asters. Asters are best pruned, since there's so many different types. I generally say February or March. They still have the seed pods. What I like to do is keep as much cover in the garden to give protection and camouflage for your birds. Once you're done pruning all these things, you also might find that you've got some daylilies and hostas. The other advantage to pruning these things or removing the foliage in the spring is you don't need to cut it. You just reach in and pull the old foliage, just like that. And we're just about done. Now, there is one more important reason I normally wait till spring to clean up the garden, and that is I don't want to have to clean up the garden 3 times. I don't want to have to clean the garden in the fall. When a few leaves fall, go through the garden and rake and clean it a second time. And if you're dealing with some of the oaks, like the pin oaks behind me, they tend to drop their leaves very late. And especially if you had a hard freeze early in the fall, the leaves stay on your tree longer. So I want to cut my work down to a minimum. I wait till February or March, cut back what I can in the garden, and then all you do is just come in. This is the fun workout time. And especially if you have mulch on the ground, raking leaves off mulch 3 times tends to remove a lot of the mulch. So I'm also conserving mulch. And when I'm done, the garden is clean, and I usually take all this refuse, leaves and debris, and I go ahead, put it in my compost pile, so in 2 years, I can go ahead and reintroduce this into the garden as a soil amendment. Again, cut down on all that work unless you're looking for exercise. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.